Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We're here to take those huge, complex stories and, well, boil them down to the core insights, the stuff you really need to grasp.
And today, we're tackling a big one, possibly one of the most talked about, celebrated, and let's be honest, controversial careers in modern sports.
Absolutely. We're diving into the 20-year saga of Kobe Bryant. 20 years, all with one team.
The Los Angeles Lakers, I mean, that loyalty alone is pretty remarkable in today's game. But beyond that, 5 rings, multiple dominant eras, some really public personal crises.
And that mindset, that competitive fire that became this whole philosophy, right? The Mamba mentality.
Exactly. Kobe's story, it's really a masterclass in relentless pursuit, sometimes to his benefit, sometimes maybe not.
It's a massive narrative arc. So our mission today, we want to unpack the key moments, the turning points that really forged his legacy. We'll look at, where he came from, those global roots, which are pretty unique.
Yeah, the Italy years.
Right. And then bursting onto the scene, skipping college.
No.
Then the championships, the clashes, the rise of the Black Mamba.
The injuries, the comeback attempts, and then his whole second act, becoming this creator, this businessman. And of course, the tragic end.
So stick with us. This is your shortcut to really understanding the profound impact Kobe Bryant had, not just on basketball, but on culture, period.
Okay, so to really get Kobe, you kind of have to start way back. His genesis, like you said, it's not your typical American superstar story.
Not at all. He was born in Philly, 1978. His dad, Joe Jellybean Bryant, played in the NBA, so basketball was in the blood.
Sure, but the defining part. When Kobe was just 6, his dad hung up his NBA sneakers and moved the whole family to Italy to play Pro Bowl over there.
And this wasn't just a quick stint. They were there for, 8 years?
Okay.
Moving around. Rieti, Reggio Calabria.
Pistoia, Reggio Emilia.
Yeah.
A significant chunk of his childhood. And he learned Italian, fluently. That experience, that immersion, it gave him a totally different worldview than most kids growing up stateside.
And he got really into soccer, right?
Yeah.
A big AC Milan fan.
He was. And you can kind of see that influence later, I think. The footwork, the constant movement, the tactical awareness, maybe. Soccer demands that.
Makes sense. He didn't lose touch with basketball, obviously.
No way. His grandfather was key there. He'd mail tapes of NBA games over. Kobe would just devour them, study them obsessively.
Like homework.
Totally. And he also got into these European animated sports films, apparently picking up strategy from them too. It shows that self-driven, intense study habits started really, really early.
Okay, so then at 13, he's back in the U.S., landing at Lower Merion High School near Philly. It wasn't instant glory, right?
No, his freshman year, the team was bad. 4 wins and 20 losses bad. That must have been a shock after being, the kid who grew up around pros.
But he turned it around fast.
Dramatically. His skill level was just off the charts for high school. He literally played every position on the floor. Junior year, the numbers are just insane. 31 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists a game, basically carrying the whole team.
And it paid off senior year, led them to a state championship, their first in over 50 years, finished 31-3.
And get this, he broke the all-time scoring record for Southeastern Pennsylvania, past Wilt Chamberlain, past Lionel Simmons. These are legends. He did that in high school.
It's incredible. So naturally, all the awards followed in 96.
Yeah.
Naismith Player of the Year, Gatorade Player of the Year.
McDonald's All-American. Plus, he wasn't, just an athlete. He scored 1080 on his SATs. He could have gone anywhere. Duke, North Carolina, you name it.
But he didn't. He made that jump straight to the NBA draft at 17.
Which was a huge risk back then. Only the 6th player ever to do it. People questioned it big time. Was he ready? Could he handle it?
But someone believed. Jerry West.
Oh, Jerry West was sold. There are stories about Kobe's pre-draft workout for the Lakers. West apparently watched him just dominate former Lakers players they brought in to challenge him. Said he marched over them.
Wow.
West was convinced. Reportedly told his staff, we got to get this kid no matter what.
Which leads us to that draft day trade. Charlotte Hornets pick him 13th.
But everyone knew what was up. That pick was immediately flipped to the Lakers.
For Vlade Divac, their starting center.
Right. And this is the key part people sometimes miss. The trade wasn't just about getting Kobe, though West desperately wanted him. It was primarily about clearing Vlade's salary off the books.
Why?
Because they needed that cap space to make a run at the biggest free agent on the market that summer, Shaquille O'Neal.
Okay, so moving Divac was step one to getting Shaq.
Exactly. Getting Kobe was, in a way, the incredible franchise-altering consequence of making room for Shaq.
It's kind of ironic, isn't it? The move to land the superstar big man also netted them the young guy who would eventually become his biggest rival and partner.
Absolutely. The Lakers basically landed their entire next decade, maybe 2 decades, of dominance in that one off-season maneuver. They just didn't fully realize the scale of the Kobe part yet.
So Kobe lands in L.A. in 1996, youngest player in the league, barely 18.
Yeah, 18 years, 72 days. And later that season, youngest starter ever at 18 and 158 days. It was a steep learning curve, especially playing alongside Shaq, who is, the most dominant force in the game.
He did start right away, came off the bench, mostly.
Mostly, yeah. Showed flashes, though. That raw talent was undeniable. And then he wins the 97 slam dunk contest.
Right, youngest champ ever there, too. That definitely put him on the map for casual fans. Pure explosion.
But the real test, I think, the moment that showed his core makeup, came in the playoffs that same rookie year. Western Conference semis against Utah.
Yeah, the air ball.
The 4 air balls.
Yeah.
Game 5, crunch time, Lakers are trying to survive. Shaq fouls out. And who steps up to take the big shots? The 18-year-old rookie.
And misses everything. Badly. Air balls.
4 of them. In the final minutes and overtime, it was brutal. But afterwards, Shaq actually praised him, said he was the only guy with the guts to take those shots.
That says a lot, that sheer audacity, that self-belief, even when it backfired spectacularly. That was kind of Kobe in a nutshell, even then.
Totally. And he learned fast. Second season, his minutes jump, his scoring doubles. He gets voted an all-star starter in 98. Youngest ever, again.
And then gets paid. Signed that big extension, 6 years, $70 million during the lockout. The Lakers clearly saw him as the future alongside Shaq.
Definitely. But the dynasty, the real dynasty, didn't kick off until Phil Jackson arrived in 99.
The Zen master. And the triangle offense.
Exactly. The triangle was so important. It wasn't just about X's and O's. It was a system that demanded players read the game, trust each other, and, crucially for them, find a way for Kobe and Shaq to coexist effectively.
So it helped define their roles.
Yeah. Shaq dominated inside, obviously. Kobe became the elite perimeter, threat scoring, cutting, even making plays. It forced some discipline on Kobe's, let's say, individualistic tendencies, while leveraging Shaq's massive presence. And Kobe thrived. All NBA, all-star, all defense. He became a complete player.
And it worked. 3 straight titles. 2000, 2001, 2002. Just dominance.
Pure dominance, but punctuated by these moments of incredible Kobe resilience.
Like the 2000 Western Conference Finals. Against Portland.
Oh, Game 7. That was legendary. Lakers down big in the 4th, roaring back. And then that iconic alley-oop from Kobe to Shaq to basically seal the series. That image summed up their potential together.
And then the finals that year against Indiana. He got hurt, right?
Yeah, Game 2. Twisted his ankle landing on Jalen Rose's foot. Rose later admitted he intentionally slid his foot under him. Dirty play.
So Kobe missed Game 3.
But came back for Game 4. Played through the pain, scores 22 in the second half, hits the game winner in overtime after Shaq fouled out. Just pure grit, playing on one good ankle.
Incredible. By the time they swept the Nets in 2002, he was only 23 and already had 3 rings. Youngest ever to do that.
His reputation for being clutch, especially in the fourth quarter, was cemented. He was taking over games late, sometimes even overshadowing Shaq, which, well, that started causing friction.
Yeah, that tension between them was always simmering, wasn't it?
Always. And it was about to boil over just as a massive personal crisis hit Kobe, summer of 2003. The accusation in Eagle, Colorado.
Right, the sexual assault case.
Yeah.
That changed everything.
It was a firestorm. Professionally, personally. He admitted to adultery, but insisted the encounter was consensual. The media coverage was relentless. His image took a huge hit.
And the sponsors reacted immediately. McDonald's, Nutella. Gone.
Jersey sales dropped off a cliff. Nike had just signed him to this huge deal, but they basically put him on ice for a year. Didn't use his image, delayed his shoe. It showed just how toxic the situation felt at the time.
The criminal charges were eventually dropped because the accuser wouldn't testify.
Right. But there was a civil suit settled privately, and Kobe issued that public apology acknowledging the harm she experienced. It was a dark, difficult period, and you have to imagine it fueled that intense, almost bunker mentality he developed on the court.
Even with all that swirling, the Lakers tried to keep the dynasty going. Brought in Karl Malone and Gary Payton for the 03-04 season, the super team.
Looked great on paper. They made it back to the finals.
But then ran into the Detroit Pistons.
And got absolutely dismantled. The Pistons' defense, their teamwork, it just smothered the Lakers' stars. Lost in 5. Pretty shocking upset.
And that was really the end of the Shaq-Kobe era, wasn't it?
Yeah, that loss kind of sealed it. The friction, the Colorado situation hanging over everything. It was untenable. The Lakers management had to choose.
And they chose Kobe.
They did. They traded Shaq to Miami. Kobe re-signed that massive 7-year deal, rejecting the Clippers' offer. He was now officially the man in LA, no question, but under a massive spotlight and with a lot to prove.
Okay, so Shaq's gone. Kobe's the undisputed leader. He gets the huge contract, stays with the Lakers after flirting with the Clippers.
Right. Turning down $100 million from the other LA team was a statement. He was betting on himself and the Lakers' ability to rebuild around him.
But it wasn't smooth sailing at first, right?
Yeah.
That 04-05 season was rough.
Really rough. They missed the playoffs entirely, and then Phil Jackson publishes his book, The Last Season, and famously calls Kobe uncoachable. That didn't exactly help the perception issues.
Ouch. But then Phil came back.
He did, in 2005. And interestingly, reports suggest the dynamic was different the second time around. Maybe Kobe had matured a bit, maybe Phil adapted. They seemed to find a way to work together more effectively.
And Kobe just unleashed. This is the Black Mamba era.
This is peak Mamba. The scoring numbers become absolutely astronomical. And it leads to maybe the single most iconic regular season performance ever. January 22nd, 2006.
The 81-point game.
81 points against the Toronto Raptors. It's just mind-boggling. Second highest total in NBA history.
Behind Wilt's 100.
Yeah.
But people always say Kobe's 81 was different. Why?
Well, context is key. Wilt's 100 came in a blowout. His teammates were force-feeding him the ball inside against an overmatched opponent. Kobe's 81, the Lakers were losing at halftime that game by 14. Yeah. He scored 55 points in the second half alone to bring them back. And he did it mostly from the perimeter jumpers, threes, free throws. It wasn't a gimmick. It was him single-handedly dragging a pretty mediocre team to a win. He accounted for 66% of their points that night.
It's unbelievable. Just pure offensive will.
Yeah. It redefined what was possible for a guard. And it wasn't a one-off explosion. That whole period was insane scoring-wise. He won the scoring title that year, averaging 35.4 points per game.
35.4. Only the fifth guy ever to average 35+.
And then he won it again the next year, averaging 31.6. The consistency was unreal.
Didn't he have some crazy scoring streaks, too?
Oh, yeah. In 2006, he had 4 straight games scoring 45 or more points, joined Wilt and Elgin Baylor in that club. Then, in 2007, he topped that. 4 straight games scoring 50 or more. Only Wilt had ever done that before. The scoring burden he carried was just immense.
And this is when he switched numbers from 8 to 24.
Yep, for the 06-07 season. He said 24 represented 147 dedication, a new chapter. It was his first number back in high school. Symbolically, it felt like the fully formed post-Shaq Mamba.
But that intensity, it's sometimes boiled over, didn't it? He had a couple of suspensions around then.
He did. 2007 got suspended twice for elbowing opponents Manu Ginobili, Marco Jaric. The league called them unnatural motions. It just showed that aggressive edge, that hyper-competitiveness that defined him. Sometimes it crossed the line.
So, incredible individual stats, but was the team winning again yet?
They were getting better, but the real turning point came in 2008, the trade for Pau Gasol.
Ah, yes, Pau. That changed everything.
Instantly, Kobe finally had that skilled, high IQ partner again. Gasol wasn't Shaq, but he was incredibly talented and, crucially, seemed willing to be the clear number 2. The Lakers went from a fringe playoff team to a title contender overnight.
And Kobe got his MVP award that year, finally.
Yep, 2008. Led the Lakers to the best record in the West, 57 wins, and he did it while playing with a torn ligament in his shooting hand's pinky finger.
Seriously, he played through that.
The whole second half of the season and the playoffs. Delayed surgery until after the Olympics that summer. Just incredible toughness.
But they lost in the finals that year, didn't they?
Yes.
To Boston.
They did. 6 games to their rivals, the Celtics. And that loss, apparently it just absolutely fueled Kobe for the next 2 years. He was obsessed with getting revenge.
And he got it.
Oh, did he ever? Back-to-back championships. 2009, they beat the Orlando Magic. Kobe gets finals MVP.
And then 2010, the rematch.
The epic 7-game slugfest against the Celtics. Lakers win Game 7 at home. Kobe gets his 5th ring and a 2nd finals MVP. That one, you could tell, meant the world to him, proving he could win it all multiple times without Shaq.
He really owned that decade, didn't he, the 2000s?
Statistically, yeah. Led the entire league in scoring for the decade, over 21,000 points. And that 2010 season, he hit 6 game winners, passed Jerry West as the Lakers' all-time leading scorer. He was on top of the mountain again.
Okay, so entering the 2010s, Kobe's got 5 rings. He's cemented his legacy. But you know he wasn't satisfied. He wanted 6 to match Jordan.
always chasing Jordan, but this is where the story shifts. The opponent becomes less about other teams and more about, well, father time. His body starts breaking down.
Before we get to the injuries, there was that incident in 2011, right? The referee incident.
Yeah, that was significant. He was caught on camera directing a homophobic slur at a referee, got fined $100,000 by the league. It caused a big stir.
Did he respond?
He did. Apologized pretty quickly, said it was out of frustration, not reflective of his feelings. He later did a PSA against homophobic language. It was a moment where his intense competitiveness clearly crossed a serious line, and he seemed to recognize that afterwards.
Okay. But physically, the toll was becoming obvious.
Absolutely. He was playing through insane stuff. Remember the 2012 All-Star game? He broke his nose and got a concussion during the game and kept playing. Passed Jordan for the all-time All-Star scoring lead in that same game.
Unbelievable. And he hit 30,000 career points that year, too. Still climbing the ladder.
Yep, youngest ever at the time to reach 30K. But the clock was ticking. And then came the big one, April 2013, the Achilles.
Oh, man, the Achilles tear. That felt like the beginning of the end.
It really did. And the way it happened was, so Kobe, the Lakers are fighting for a playoff spot. He was playing insane minutes, like 45, 46, almost 48 minutes a night down the stretch.
Because he felt he had to carry them.
Exactly. Reports are clear. Coaches, trainers, management were all warning him about the workload, begging him to cut back. He refused, said the team needed it. Then, planting his foot, pop, torn Achilles.
And didn't he? Didn't
Yeah.
he shoot the free throws?
That's the indelible image. He goes down, clearly in agony, knows exactly what happened, but he refuses to be carried off, limps to the free throw line, sinks both shots to tie the game, and then walks off the court under his own power. Just pure Mamba mentality. Maximum effort, maximum pain tolerance, even an injury.
Even after that devastating injury, he still got a huge contract extension.
Right.
That caused some
A
debate.
massive extension. 2 years, $48.5 million, made him the highest paid player in the league again, coming off an Achilles tear at his age. It was hugely polarized.
Why the controversy?
Well, critics said, look, he's old, he's injured, he should take a pay cut to help the team rebuild, sign other players, give them flexibility.
But the other side.
The other side argued he'd earned that money over nearly 2 decades of carrying the franchise. That it wasn't his fault management couldn't build a winner around him. It was partly a reward for loyalty, for being the face of the Lakers brand. Both sides had a point, really.
And the injuries just kept coming after that, didn't they?
Yeah, it was brutal. Came back from the Achilles, then broke a bone in his knee, tibial plateau fracture, done for the season. Then the next year, a torn rotator cuff in his shoulder. Season over again, just one major injury after another.
But he still managed to pass Michael Jordan on the all-time scoring list during that time. That must have meant a lot to him.
Oh, absolutely. December 2014, passing his idol, the guy he patterned his whole game after. That was a huge personal milestone, even as the team struggled and his body failed him.
So let's really define this Mamba mentality thing. It became his brand, his philosophy. What was it really about?
At its core, it was about an obsessive commitment to improvement, a relentless work ethic, and an almost pathological competitiveness. It was about embracing the hard parts, the pressure, the pain.
We know the profile. 6'6" shooting guard. Modeled his game on Jordan. Learned post moves from Hakeem, always adding tools.
Right. And the Black Mamba nickname he gave himself, that was intentional. Creating an alter ego, he said, to separate his intense, ruthless on-court persona from his off-court life. Like a snake, striking with precision and speed.
And the clutch rep was real. GMs voted him the guy they wanted for the last shot for 10 years straight.
That wasn't by accident. It came from taking and sometimes missing those shots his whole career, which leads to the criticism.
The selfish high-volume shooter label.
Yeah.
And the missed shots record.
Exactly. He retired with the most missed field goals in NBA history, over 14,000 misses, and he owned it. He famously said, I'd rather go 0 for 30 than 0 for 9.
What do you mean by that?
He meant that 0 for 9 means you stopped shooting, you let the misses beat you, you lost your confidence. 0 for 30 means you kept firing, you stayed aggressive, you didn't back down from the challenge, even if you failed. That's the Mamba mentality, in a quote. Accept failure as part of the process of striving.
Did that intensity make him hard to play with?
Early on, definitely. Phil Jackson even noted how Kobe could be scornful of teammates who didn't match his intensity. But Jackson also said that later in his career, Kobe really evolved, became more of a mentor, tried to lift guys up rather than just demand they meet his standard.
Which probably helped him navigate that final season, the farewell tour.
Yeah, 2015-16, he set the record 20 seasons with one team. He announced his retirement with that poem, Dear Basketball.
Which was beautiful and really honest about his body giving out. My body knows it's time to say goodbye.
He was incredibly candid that year, admitted he was playing poorly, saying things like, even though I play like shit, I've worked really, really hard not to play like crap. It was oddly endearing.
And that tour. It was strange, wasn't it? Seeing opposing arenas, places like Boston that hated him, giving him standing ovations, gifts.
It was surreal, a victory lap for a guy who had always embraced being the villain. Suddenly he was universally beloved. It seemed to genuinely affect him.
And then the final game.
Yeah.
Just perfect Hollywood ending.
Couldn't write it better.
No.
Against the Utah Jazz, needs to score like, what, 20 points to have a decent finale?
And he scores 60. 60 points.
On 50 shots, the most shots anyone had taken in a game in decades. It was pure, unapologetic Kobe. He just kept shooting. Became the oldest player ever to score 60, set the record for most points in a final game, led the Lakers to a comeback win.
Just emptied the tank one last time.
Completely. And then the speech at center court, grabbing the mic.
Mamba out. Boom. Mic drop. The perfect exit.
So his Lakers career ends, but Kobe wasn't just a Laker, right? He was huge internationally. Team USA.
Oh, yeah. The Olympics.
Yeah.
He was central to that whole redeem team narrative in 2008.
Absolutely critical. They needed to restore USA basketball's dominance after the '04 disappointment. Kobe brought that leadership, that defensive intensity, and in the gold medal game against Spain, he took over.
Scored 13 points in the fourth quarter, hit the big shots, sealed the win.
Clutch again. Then he won another gold in London in 2012. Finished his national team career undefeated in major tournaments. 26-0. Perfect record.
So after basketball, did he just relax? Golf?
Not a chance. He attacked his post-playing career with the exact same Mamba mentality. Immediately pivoted to storytelling, creativity, business.
Starting with Dear Basketball. The poem became a film.
An animated short film. And what happens? It wins an Oscar in 2018.
An Academy Award. For Best Animated Short. That's incredible.
Historic even. First African-American to win in that category. First former pro athlete ever nominated for, let alone win, an Oscar. He approached filmmaking like game film, studied, prepared, obsessed over details.
And he set up his own production company, Granity Studios.
Yeah, producing content. Remember that ESPN Plus series, Detail, where he'd break down players' games? That was Granity. Super insightful stuff.
And he got into writing books, too. Young adult novels.
The Wisnerd series. Fantasy meets basketball. It became a bestseller, even topped the New York Times list after his death. He was serious about building a media empire focused on sports storytelling.
Okay, so creator, storyteller. What about the business side?
Just as ambitious. Founded Kobe Inc. back in 2014. Then in 2016, co-founded a venture capital firm, Bryant Stibel, with $100 million in capital, investing in tech, media, data companies.
And he had that big win with Body Armor, the sports drink.
Huge win. He invested early at like $6 million back in 2014, put his own sweat equity into marketing it too. When Coca-Cola bought a major stake later on, Kobe's initial investment was reportedly worth around $200 million. Showed he had real business savvy, not just lending his name.
He stayed involved in charity work too, right?
Yeah, through the Kobe and Vanessa Bryant Family Foundation. Focused on helping homeless families in L.A., youth sports programs. He was an ambassador for After School All-Stars, too. Giving back was part of the Mamba brand as well.
And he literally wrote the book on his philosophy, The Mamba Mentality, How I Play.
Basically codified it. Laid out his approach to preparation, competition, dealing with adversity. It became a manual for high achievers in any field, not just sports.
It felt like he was just getting started on this massive second act.
Yeah.
And then January 26, 2020.
Yeah. Just unbelievable tragedy. The helicopter crash in Calabasas. Kobe, his daughter Gianna, who was only 13, and a budding basketball star herself.
And 7 other people.
Yeah.
Parents, coaches, teammates. Heading to Gianna's game at the Mamba Sports Academy he'd founded.
Just devastating. The world basically stopped. The NTSB investigation later found it was likely pilot error, disorientation in heavy fog, no mechanical failure, just a horrific accident.
The outpouring of grief was global. Immediate.
Immense. The NBA postponed the Lakers game scheduled for that week. First time they'd done that for something non-weather related since the Boston Marathon bombing. Tributes everywhere.
And the league renamed the All-Star MVP award after him, the Kobe Bryant MVP award.
A fitting tribute. His legacy was instantly solidified in those tragic circumstances. Posthumously inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2021, named to the NBA 75th anniversary team.
And the Lakers had already retired both his numbers, 8 and 24. The The only player in history to have two numbers retired by the same team.
Acknowledging those two distinct legendary careers he had within one tenure, and the memorials continue, there's a statue at the crash site now.
And the big one outside the arena, Crypto.com Arena now, unveiled in 2024.
Right. A statue he apparently had input on before he passed, honoring number 8, number 24, and Gianna's number 2 as well, keeping their legacies linked together physically.
So when you step back and look at the whole picture, Kobe Bryant's career, the sheer volume is just, it's immense.
It really is. 4th all-time in scoring over 33,000 points, 18 All-Star games, 5 championships, 12 all-defensive teams. That often gets overlooked, how great he was defensively.
And a first player ever with 30,000 points and 6,000 assists. Showed he wasn't just a scorer, even with that reputation.
But like we've discussed, this deep dive really shows his impact stretched so far beyond basketball stats. Olympic champion, Oscar winner, successful investor and entrepreneur, author.
It all comes back to that Mamba mentality, doesn't it? The relentless drive, that obsessive preparation, that competitive isolation he applied to everything he did.
He truly was defined by taking the hard road, the difficult shot, which, yes, led to championships and scoring records, but also led to the record for most missed shots. It's two sides of the same coin.
So the final thought for you, the listener, after diving deep into Kobe's story, kind of leaves us with a challenging question, I think.
Yeah. His entire career suggests that reaching your absolute maximum potential might demand embracing enormous risk, accepting public failure on a massive scale, maybe even being misunderstood along the way.
So how often are we in our own lives, our own pursuits, truly willing to adopt that Mamba mentality? To take those risks, knowing the cost of missing, the cost of failure can be incredibly high.
Something to chew on. It's the core tension of his legacy.
Indeed. Think about that until next time on The Deep Dive.